What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Cam Williamson. It's fantastic to be back with you. It's been a minute, right? I took a little bit of time off. I just kind of disappeared. I appreciate everyone who was sending messages and stuff, asking how I am. I'm good. I'm better than good. And I'm going to share kind of what's been going on recently with me. We're going to talk about diving into the divine. What is this thing called life? How do we live it? How should we live it? So many questions, constant self-analysis, mental health, drug addiction, love, heartbreak, money, building households, planets, stars, moons, everything. We're going to get into it. What the f***? All right. So, we as human beings are born, right? We know that. We're born. Here we are. It's us. It's you. Hey, you. Good to see you. Then you're handed to people, and they name you, and then they shape you, and they mold you, intentionally and unintentionally. So we have science, we have anatomy, we have the beginning stages of creating people and mental health and how they work, right? Then you go through your life living based off of what you see or your senses and what they pick up around you. We know that. And then how you respond to those things based off of what? How you've lived your life, different responses you've had in the past, what you know to be who you are. You try to respond accordingly, right? At every moment, those decisions get more and more important. We try to teach people that when they're young. Hey, careful. Decisions you make when you're young really can affect you when you're older. Don't do these wild, outlandish things. Don't get yourself into hot water before you're ready for it. And we try to preach these lessons to young people, and we do it in schools, which they don't typically receive well outside of, small number of kids. Or religious beliefs, or spiritual beliefs, or just the moral encompassing force of the family. This is how we operate in this family. And we mold people off that, right? We base ourselves off how do I fit into my collective around me at all times, whether that be my family when I'm young, my friends and family when I get older, my friends' families, romantic relationships, and then as it grows, you start building your own shit with your own ideas. The question becomes, do you repeat everything you've seen, or do you change some of it? That's what your life becomes, yeah? Is anybody arguing this at this point? Am I pretty bullseye? I think I am. I've spent a lot of time meditating on this. So if I'm off, let me know. There comes a moment, I think, in every person's life where it becomes painstakingly clear the situation you are in, whether that's a rock bottom, whether that's a horrible event that happens in your life. Maybe it's the first time you've lost somebody important to you. Maybe it's you're staring down the barrel of an addiction, a breakup, fucking financial hardship, whatever it is. Everything's been stripped away from you. Or maybe just your identity has. Maybe you have lost sense of who the fuck you are. And everything seems to be going on and everything's all right, but internally you're dead inside and you just can't figure out why. So to help the human condition, we develop things like drugs and alcohol and prescription medications and food and music and television and all these things that just do what? They send us like this all day long. All day long, bouncing in and out of different chemical reactions and what have you. Now, this is an important point to stop and pause. Inside of these chemical reactions, we like to just go, that's for doctors and scientists to figure out. I'm not a doctor and scientist, therefore I don't know. So, right? Wrong. Inside these chemical reactions are all things that you control, which is what? The water you put in your body, the food you put in your body, and the most important, the thoughts you entertain up here, right? Because everything in your reality is operating based off what you can sense. If you're blind, you can still hear things, you can still touch things, you just can't see them. So you have no perception of what things look like. You can only touch and feel and make your own reality in your head of what's going on around you, right? For fully able people, we are at all times kicking out what we know things to be. Like around me are walls and lights and cameras. I know what those are because I've seen them before, and that's the only reason I know them. If you give me something new, I don't know what that is until I learn about it. Until somebody who knows, who's a part of the 7 billion people collective, tells me, because they have experience with that, right? That's how awareness happens. That's how we learn things. That's how we grow. Yeah? Okay. Inside of these cells comes creation of who you are. Your health is being created every day by the actions you take. How much water you drink, how much exercise you get. That's going to directly affect what? Your thoughts, your mood, how stable you are going through this. If you start adding junk food and alcohol, you're going to be doing more of this because you're spiking and dropping all the goddamn time. Yeah? Here's the difference. You have certain people in this world that they do all the chasing they can do, and they chase, and they chase, and they chase, and seemingly they obtain a lot. Whether it be money, relationships, houses, cars, whatever. They obtain. Good, you did it. Hey, you did it. Good for you. And that person is fucking miserable. Fucking miserable to their core. Why? Because they either have yet to have that moment, or they've just been slowly pushing that moment off with drugs or distractions or work or whatever to go, I don't like myself. Fuck, I don't like myself. Fuck, I don't like myself. Why don't I like myself? What is it about me that I don't like? Oh, it's everything that I've done to other people before I realized that I was only acting out of the idea of what I thought I was, right? So this is where the divine comes in. Who are we? Who am I? Right? You guys know me as Cam Williamson, the host of the Road to Redemption podcast. I talk about mental health, and I bring you content that's up for your judgment, whether it's entertaining or not, across social media platforms. That's who I am to you. I'm 1,000 different things to 1,000 different other people. I'm an enemy and a villain to some people. I'm a hero and a savior to some people, hopefully my kids. I help people. I am everything in between. But all of those things don't change who I am. They just change how other people perceive me based off how I acted in certain moments in time. Now, how I act in certain moments in time dictate a perception of me. I'm only operating off what I have within my capability, right? So whatever food, drink, alcohol, drug, whatever I've been involving myself in, people, influences, music, I can only operate within the frequency that I am. So whether that's good or bad, I can only be judged on what I am. My name is not important. You can call me whatever. You can call me a motherfucker. You can call me Cam. It doesn't matter, right? You can only judge me off what I'm doing. What I'm doing is based off how my mind-body connection is working. That is only happening because I am choosing to do certain things. At every moment, you have to ask yourself, with the thoughts that fill your head, who is having this thought? Is it me? Is it me? Because I am Cam, and I know every moment that I think I've lived in my life. So any new idea that I've never thought before, how could that possibly be me? Well, that's not me, because I've never had that thought before, and I would have never. So that must be what? Something divine, whatever creates the things. Because if that new thought comes into my head and then I do something in this world outside of my own eyeballs and I create it, well, now it's real. Wow, that's how dreams are made, and that's how goals are achieved, and that's how people become the best versions of themselves. So breaking the divine down to the most simplistic form, it's only going inside of you, finding out that you are not your name, your relationship status, your financial status, your net worth, the square footage of your house. You're not your car. You're not your kids. They're their own thing. They've got their own thing to do. And you notice you don't know what that is. That's up in the air just as much as your thing is up in the air. But you control your thing. And you control what the world looks like around you. So to my parents, I want to encourage you, try to control your kids as little as possible. Let them be who they are. The world needs who we are. We need to be able to tell, who are you? What do you have for us as a collective? What do you have to offer to make us all better? Because outside of doing that, we're tearing each other down, we're limiting each other, and we're keeping what we know the human existence to be in this box of what was, which means what? We're not creating anything new. We're not changing anything. So you could take the woo-woo and stuff out of it, like I just attempted to do, but it all comes down to the fact, when you look at the most up-to-date science and quantum studies and stuff like that, creation comes from the dark matter of the 0 point, which is an atom, which is like 99.9% energy with like the 0.0001% matter. Everything else is energy. We've been talking about that on this show for fucking 4 years. So, if everything's energy and everything is of our creation, does that mean we create our reality entirely? No. You control you. And that's very important, right? You control you. So at every moment, you're controlling the influx of thoughts, emotions, decisions. That's on you. Now, you could be influenced by a lot of different things, a lot of different energies. People can send them to you. Music can send them to you, whatever. It's up to you to decipher, what am I going to do with that? How am I going to move forward, right? If you really reach a moment of stillness where you stop judging yourself based off these titles you hold and the way you look and the place you came from and all this stuff, and you go, what resonates with me? Genuinely. Without anyone's opinion about it. I don't give a fuck how my parents feel, anybody feels. If I was to act in a way that I knew was 100% authentically me, what would that look like? And then I just start doing that. And then things change around you. People fall out. People come in. Opportunities come out. You create things. Things get dissolved. Well, that's fucking change, isn't it? It's hard, though. It's not real hard to actually change stuff. It's not hard to make a video. It's not hard to learn how to edit. It's not hard to learn to be better at whatever it is you want to do. It's not hard to love people. It becomes hard to love people when we put these boxes on who should be loved and who shouldn't be loved. And as long as you look this way, sound this way, do these things in your life, well, then you're worthy of love. And if you don't, then you're not, right? We make it so very black and white when in reality, human beings intertwined with every moment of our life, collectively as 7 billion fucking people ever growing, all those different realities coming together to intertwined at every different variation possible. And we're supposed to believe that that's not creation happening at every single fucking moment. And yet here we are, thinking that we know so much that we just accept that there's a person in the sky or a thing in the sky or it's incarnated in a cow or whatever. We have so little faith in ourselves, the thing that's actually experiencing this and feeling the feelings and living the life. We have such no fucking confidence in ourselves because everything we've ever known up to this point ended up being skewed and manipulated and sold to the highest bidder. Now people believe that unless you're magical or lucky, you have to suffer in life because you were fucking born. I'm telling you, that's a way you can live your life. That's a way you can live your life. I'm telling you also, if you take the time and you have the goal within you to sit, not with headphones in, not with music playing, not while your dogs are being walked, sit and just listen. Listen to everything that starts. It's a fucking circus up there. And this is not just for my mentally, health conscious people. This is everybody. We all suffer from mental health, so let's get that out of the way. But what mental health suffering really is people trying to not be as authentically themselves as they know they need to be. And you're struggling with who you are versus who you're projecting yourself to be. You get caught up thinking that you can never become what's in your head because you're too busy believing that you are and will forever be who you are now. But I hate to tell you, the human body, the world, and the universe that we operate in is constantly, at every single moment, evolving, changing. New things are growing and old things are dying off. That's reality. We can look at it any wild-ass way we want to, and to make sense to us and to get certain people's attention, it really helps to figurize it in certain ways and tell certain stories and interpretations and parables, and it helps. Play the music, feel the feeling, connect. But you will find that whether it's through drinking or church music or prayer or whatever, you're going to reach a point of surrender where you go, I am here and I love being here. I love everything that I have the ability to create. Whatever is put on my heart to create, I can create that if I want. If there's a person in my perspective, I can love them without bounds. Hey, that's great too. If there's money offered to me, well, I can take that without feeling bad, because as long as I have a plan to do good, well, then I believe that is just adhering good energy that's for the betterment of everyone. Hey, nobody loses in that. Therefore, it's all love. It's all good. Yeah? It's when we start operating in jealousy and this person has more than me and the lack and, well, this person has more than me because you're worrying about other shit. Everybody else is on their journey doing their thing, trying to be the best version they can be, loving the people they can reach. If you've chosen at some point to start blocking shit out and kicking opportunities away because you don't feel good enough, or because someone told you that you're not capable, or that you're only worthy of so much love in a certain specific looking way, that's on you. That's for you to dig inside of you and deal with. Do you care more about what other people think about you in this world that we live in? Or do you genuinely believe there's something inside of you, creative ideas, feelings, a purpose that's meant to come out? And are you struggling to find a way to do that because maybe you just don't have the skills yet, which can be developed, but you're so goddamn scared to even think that you might be capable enough of that you can't even get to the point of doing the research and figuring out what it takes to even start? Starts up here. Guys, have a date with the divine, man. You can. You want truth? Close the noise. Shut the shit off. Shut the stuff off. Stop posting. Stop saying. Just listen. When was the last time you just stopped and just stopped? Don't talk, don't post, don't tell people nothing. Just be you. And do that for like a week and a half and see what you reveal to you about you. You're not going to like it. There's going to be a lot of changes that you probably have to do. And there's going to be ways you have to navigate through shit. And there's going to be stuff you got to figure out. And it's going to be hard. And there's going to be times you doubt yourself. But that's being a person. So you have to accept either you're going to strive for the most ultimate version of you, or you're going to settle for what the fuck you're doing now. And then in that case, don't ever get back on YouTube looking for motivational shit. Because that's what it's going to come to every single time. What are you going to do to create a better future for you tomorrow? That's it. Don't buy any more self-help books. You don't need them. Don't buy any more fucking nothing. Just be with you and figure out who the fuck you are. Act like that. Let everything else fall where it may. If people love you, they'll be around for it. If they don't, they won't. If money is meant for you and you're operating at a place where money operates, you're going to be there because that's the way the fucking world works. In the same way, if you're walking around with your fucking head down, you might get hit by a bus. The world is neither good nor bad. It is what the fuck it is, and it is what you make it. We have so many different interpretations of what that truth looks like, but that's the truth when you ultimately look at it. That's coming from somebody who has ran after everything, dove in headfirst into every outlet of escape possible to find that it's you with you, dealing with you, creating what the fuck you're going to see. And the less people you involve in that, and the less people you tell about that, and the less people you talk to and shit, the more on path you stay with you. Now, if you get to there and you don't like that, who's that on? I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful to be back. Check out the store for the new merch. We got tons of it. RoadToRedemptionPodcast.com. Thumbs up the video, especially if you made it this far. Subscribe. We're back, baby. We on it. Purpose. Mission driven. I love you. We'll see you later.